Hey everybody, hope you guys have been enjoying the content on this channel as of late. Sorry if this video is coming up a little bit late. I usually post videos like around like noonish or so. Um, just was a little bit busier this week. But I did have time to check out The Survivor. This is the latest from Barry Levinson, who I believe directed Rain Man, which is an amazing film and has a great performance by from Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise to an extent. I know he's probably done other work, but Rain Man's the one that comes to mind. Um, but The Survivor just came out today, and I figured just to watch it. And I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I thought probably would just pass up on it just because there's nothing here that I really find that interesting beyond Ben Foster. Which I will say right off the bat, Ben Foster is definitely the best element to the entire film. His commitment to the role is very clear. His physicality is like very transformative. Like I was pretty like when we get to the black and white sequences, I it took me a second to realize that that's Ben Foster. Like he really immerses himself into this role and um, like you're really watching a character unfold. You're not seeing Ben Foster in this particular part, and like that's really the highest praise I can give to any performer when they can escape or when they can detach themselves, and you're only seeing a character. And I really did. I saw a character play out. Um, by the way, has he ever played Vince Van Gogh or Vince Van Gogh, Ben Foster? Because I saw pictures of him just to make sure. Like, is this what Ben Foster looks like in real life? This particular structure of his face, and there's definitely some makeup touches there and there. Um, but his face, just in general, reminds me of Vince Van Gough. So I'm curious if he ever played that particular part. Because if he hasn't, he looks he looks the part and clearly has the acting chops for it. Um, but beyond that, there's some good supporting performances as well. I like Danny DeVito to an extent. He was like kind of the levity to the film because it is kind of a I wouldn't say grim, but kind of melodramatic. Like it definitely has its sincerity, but it's also in many ways melodramatic. Um, and of course, the obvious thing about the movie is that it is definitely inspired and uh, heavily influenced by the likes of Scorsese, particularly Raging Bull. Like it's pretty obvious. Like the poster, obviously, like is a Raging Bull influence. Um, but it's distinct enough and like pretty well crafted. Like the story itself is engaging. It's an interesting story about trauma and I think that the issues that I have though are with its um with its connections because the black and white sequences and the scenes in color I just feel are a little disjointed. Like when we cut to black and white and then color at some points to like show some flashbacks, and it feels like we're watching two separate movies. Like the filmmaking feels very different on from both of those sequences. Perhaps it's because of the black and white, but um, the black and white one I thought looked a lot more compelling and a lot more grounded to where the scenes in color felt a lot more staged. Like it looked a lot more studio oriented. Like even the camera shots, like you got the panning in and the sweeping shots. Like it's a very typical um, production at those points. But when you get to the black and white stuff, that's when it really starts to become um, um, a lot more fascinating from a technical point of view. Um, um, but the story itself is interesting, even if it is a bit familiar. And the performance is really good. And um, just in general, it's a like like I think it could have used more. I guess like I said, from a technical effort, I feel like it would have enhanced the story a little bit more when we're in the present. Because I don't know, I feel like the whole movie should have been in black and white. I feel like the whole movie should have been in black and white because again, it's like two separate movies when it's like going to color and then black and white. Um, I feel like they should have stuck with black and white. Like if you're gonna be influenced by Raging Bull, just kind of go for it. At this point, I mean, because the black and white flashback sequences are really where the story is. The color sequences are kind of like I don't know, you know. Um, the script is also a bit of a weak link as well. It's a bit of a standard story. Like I say, it's a good story, but it's also kind of a standard story. Like you know how it's gonna wrap up, and like it kind of lingers a little too long for me. Like I feel like this could have been like an hour and a half, not 2 hours, because there's a lot of time of him like sitting with this trauma, and we're learning things throughout about his past, um, and it's interesting stuff to see, but the impact is not really there. So I feel like a little bit of a shorter time would have made things a little bit more resonant. Um, but for what it is, again, um, uh, I think that the lead performance is very good. I think that Ben Foster completely immerses himself into this, and I was uh, really impressed by his performance. I think the supporting cast is also pretty good. Becky Krebs is also pretty good in here, um, and it does keep you interested. And there is a level of investment. Um, and the black and white sequences are like really intriguing and um, in some ways captivating. It's only when we linger on the present story is when things just feel kind of typical and not as engrossing as they should be. But um, for what it is, it's a good piece. I would actually recommend that you guys see it. Um, but I think it has the potential to be much greater if it, you know, maybe just went back to the editing room and did a couple of changes there and there. Primarily, maybe having the whole movie be in black and white, because I feel like that would have done the movie a lot. It would have done the movie more justice, in my opinion, because I feel like it's just it's almost there. Like that's kind of the feeling that I got with the Survivor is that it's almost there. It's almost great. Like it was almost there, but just a few things there and there I feel like kind of brought it down for me. But it's still good. It's still good, and I would still recommend that you guys watch it, mainly for this really transformative performance by Ben Foster. Like he's really like I think he lost like 60 pounds for it, and um, usually that I don't really care about that stuff, but for what type of story we have with this, of him being like a Holocaust survivor and all that, it really plays to his character, and it gives his performance more depth actually. Um, so yeah, so check it out when you guys get a chance to. Really, the performance is something to watch, um, but it definitely does have definitely feels a little disjointed in some ways. So so yeah, that's my thoughts on the Survivor. Good movie, not great, but you guys let me know your thoughts on it, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.